there are three things. There is justice, there is injustice, and there is grace. The law of karma applies to us when we are not surrendered to God. As you do, that shall you also reap. But when we do surrender, a second law gets applied, which is the law of grace. Nobody is happy in this world. This discontent of the soul from within forces us to keep searching for the true happiness. And this search over a continuum of lifetimes brings us finally to the feet of God. This world is actually like the jailhouse of God. This is the material realm. This is for souls like us who have turned our backs to Him. So those who have chosen not to surrender to God, who have desired to have their own way, it is for us souls that this world exists. Nevertheless, while we are in our stay in this material realm, in this so-called jailhouse of God, things good and bad are not just happening to us randomly. They are not happening to us just by God's will. They are happening to us as a consequence of our actions plus God's will. So there is a law of action and reaction that exists in the world. In the Vedic culture and scriptures, we call it the law of karma. The same, like I told you, exists in the other religious traditions, and hence the Bible says, "Beware, your sin shall find you out." The Vedic scriptures, the Mahabharata states, "Avashyameva bhoktavyam kritam karma shubha shubham." You will have to reap the results of good and bad karmas. Now, there is this law of justice of God that is in place. Now, when your time frame is of one lifetime, a lot of questions remain unanswered. And very often one is induced to conclude that this world is truly unjust. For example, if a child is born blind, and that blind child says, "What did I do to be born blind?" What answer can we give to that child? If you tell the child, "It is a result of your karmas," the child says, "I never did anything. From childhood I am blind." If you say it was the will of God, the child becomes confused. God is compassionate. Why is He doing such things? But these karmas are coming from innumerable lifetimes. The Vedic scriptures state there are three kinds of karmas: sanchit karma, prarabdha karma, and kriyaman karma. Sanchit karma is the stockpile of our karmas of innumerable past lifetimes in the journey of the soul in this material realm. We have forgotten. God remembers. He keeps an account. It is stored in the causal body within us. That is the sanchit karma of past lifetimes. When we are born, God takes one section of that sanchit karma and gives it to us. This portion of your karmas you will have to reap in this lifetime. This has become your destiny for this lifetime. That destiny decided upon birth is called prarabdha. Hence, each soul is born with their own prarabdha karma. As people say, somebody is born with the golden spoon in the mouth, somebody is born in the poor slums, destined to illiteracy and drunk parents. This is a difference of the prarabdha karmas. And the third is kriyaman karma. Kriyaman karma is the actions we perform in the present out of our own free will. So at any moment, no matter what our past destiny, our destiny given to us, we still have a certain amount of freedom to decide and act according to our free will. So the actions in the present we perform from our free will are called kriyaman karma. And the results that we get in our life is a combination of our kriyaman, our prarabdha, the will of God, and other factors. So, our destiny or prarabdha is decided, but the kriyaman is not decided. That is in our hands. And that is why it is said, while acting, don't bring destiny to your mind. Let us say a person falls sick. The sickness could be for two reasons. It could be because of destiny. It could be because of wrong actions or wrong habits or wrong thought patterns. Now, the person doesn't know why I am sick, why did I get diabetes. If the person assumes I have fallen sick because of destiny, that person will not endeavor to treat the disease. It's possible if the disease was treated, it could have been cured. So Ayurveda defines two kinds of diseases, doshaj and karmaj. Karmaj are diseases coming from your destiny. It was decided, you had to get it, you have to bear it. When it's finished, you will get cured. And there is doshaj that is coming from our own actions. Now those can be changed. So the Vedas say never be lazy while acting. Don't bring destiny to your mind. But when the results come, remember, the results are not only in your hands. There were so many other factors responsible for results. So be contented. Prayatna mein savdhan. Careful in effort. Phal mein santusht. Contented in results. When we do this, we are never disturbed whatever happens to us. Now in this, our free will, the actions we perform out of our free will, created our karmas in the past. They created our destiny. They are changing our destiny in the present. This free will has been given by that Almighty Creator to all of us. Some people ask the question, what was the need for giving us a free will? If God had not given us the free will, we would not do anything bad. Some people say, why did God permit cigarettes to be invented? If God had not allowed cigarettes to be invented, there would be no cigarette smokers. Why did God give the option of evil? He should have prevented it. No scope for evil. But the problem is that if we did not have the free will, we would neither have done anything bad, we would also not have done anything good. The option to do good necessitates the option to choose evil as well. And God has created us to love Him. He desires us to love Him and reach that perfection. To love Him, the ability to choose is essential. A machine is incapable of love. Only that entity can love who has a choice. And that is why the choice always exists in this world. By exercising our choice, we have reached this point. God acts like a referee. In a match, you have a referee. The referee is impartial. Cricket is the popular game in India, so let me give the example of cricket. You have two teams of 11 players that descend on this field and two umpires that also arrive there. The players keep making their runs. The umpires keep giving their decisions. That's a single, that's a four, that's a six, he's out. Now the umpires are not biased. You are free to make your runs. The umpires are there to give the decisions. So God has also created this world and is taking the place of an umpire, giving the options available to us. So now, in this system, there is one wonderful option that helps us get out of this system. What is that? I began the lecture by saying that there are three things. There is justice, there is injustice, and there is grace. So the law of justice, the law of karma applies to us when we are not surrendered to God. As you do, that shall you also reap. But when we do surrender, a second law gets applied, which is the law of grace. This exists in worldly law as well. If the Supreme Court declares the death penalty upon someone, the Supreme Court is the final authority. Now that poor person cannot appeal any further. The person has gone from the lower to the higher to the Supreme Court. And yet the statutes of justice stipulate that the person on whom the death sentence has been given still has the option to appeal to the President of India for mercy. But it's not in the President's hands to just arbitrarily dispense mercy. For giving mercy as well, there are rules. If these conditions are met, I can bestow mercy. Similarly, in the case of God, His justice is there. But there is another rule. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tanstathaiva bhajamyaham. The Lord Sri Krishna says to the soul Arjun, if you surrender to me, I will bestow my grace upon you. And by that grace, He will burn away the entire stockpile of karmas of infinite lifetimes and release us from this cycle of life and death. He will liberate us from this. So that is the law of grace.